You're listening to Between Two Card Sleeves. Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Between Two Card Sleeves. This time I talk with Sean Pottenger of MTG808Junior about starting up MTG youth groups in different locations within the state of Hawaii. Enjoy.
All right, hello and welcome. Today I'm Sean Pottenger and I'm here representing MTG808Junior, and I've got here on the line with me Chris the Zone from the Big Island of Hawaii. So we're in the same state, but we're not physically on the same landmass. So welcome in, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad that we finally got to chat. So Chris has a magic club over on the Big Island that he's been assisting. You're a level 1 judge?
Yes, I was that guy at the judge conference. If you remember, I had asked for a little bit of
Yeah. So the backstory to this is that at the Pro Tour Honolulu Judge Conference, which was last October, I did like a 20-minute talk at the Judge Conference about I had just taken the kids to a field trip to the Pro Tour, and it was that group of kids that came to the Pro Tour that evolved into these Magic clubs that I'm supporting now. It took me a couple months to wrangle them in and to get them organized to the point that we could run tournaments. But that was kind of the birth of that. So I had that field trip experience, and then like 2 hours later ran to this judge conference to kind of share what I was working on. And Chris was one of the handful of judges that was at that conference. So shout out to Daniel Clark for organizing that judge conference.
Yep.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. He's fantastic.
Oh yeah, that was, I only got to see 1.5 other presentations, but the judge community is just so awesome because like everyone is there because they just love playing Magic and they want to see the community grow.
Right, absolutely. And for me it was nice because most of the time, most judge conferences in Hawaii, I usually get asked to do a short talk for like the newer L1s. So for me to just sit there and just like take it in was great.
Nice. So you've been a judge for a while then?
Since the Avacyn Restored pre-release, I can't remember the year.
Okay, that was like
long ago.
10-ish,
in that
ballpark, 2009 maybe.
Yeah, in that area.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's much longer than I've been a judge.
Yeah. At the time, it was Stefan, if you know the L3, Stefan Klassen. He was still in L1 at the time. And I believe he was the only judge outside of Aaron Hamer who were judges in Hawaii. Hamer was on Oahu where you are, and Stefan was on the Big Island at the time. It was really, the judge program out here was really tiny when I'm literally like, I think now that Stefan has left, I am the oldest, if not the highest level judge here.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So you've been judging the longest of all the judges on the Big Island?
Yes, that for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I have only dipped my toe into the judge community, but I really appreciated being able to present at that judge conference. I think I took my level 1 test like 2 weeks before that judge conference happened. It was
wow.
Something ridiculous. Daniel Clark was trying to get me to test for the longest time, and then he was like, if you test in, then you can present at the conference. And I was like, okay, that's a good reason. I'll take the test now.
Nice.
Yeah. But, ever since then, after that, I started running these youth tournaments and have been able to judge those. So it's come in handy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But the judge community out here is growing. I've been impressed by it.
Yes, definitely.
We lost Stefan, but, I think we'll be all right without him.
That's right. Shout out to Stefan.
For sure. So just how about you share a little bit about your story of how you got started partnering with your Magic Club out there in the Big Island?
Right. So I think it was around the same time, September, October. The Pro Tour was after for sure, and
yeah, I think the Pro Tour was like mid-October.
Right. So this was like mid-September-ish, going into October. We had all gotten the news at the time. He was keeping it on the down low. Stefan was he had broke the news that he was heading and doing other stuff in his life and moving.
Right.
And that he
moving
wanted
off
me
of the island.
Right. And so he wanted me to go meet this group because they were looking for someone who was knowledgeable in Magic. And I mean, at the time, you know, everybody knows Stefan, so he was the first one that was asked. And he was like, "Yo, Vizzy, you want to drop in with me? We'll meet these kids." And I said, "Sure," because it was actually lucky. I'm a substitute teacher with the Department of Education, and I was lucky I didn't have any work that day. Normally, I'm at I work at the local elementary school, about a mile away. So
and the club that you're working with is at the high school?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an intermediate / high school, so it goes from 7th all the way to 12th grades. And yeah, and so it was honestly truly on a lucky whim that I was able to I went down and we played a little bit of Magic, but Stefan was doing it was more of like a board game demonstration day, because we were all not really sure what they were doing. So we were kind of we were hedging our bets, like, were they going to get into Magic, or is this just going to be a normal board game day? And
because the advisor at that club is Marsha, right?
Yes, yeah, she's she's kind of like the head advisor, and then she has her second in command out there. His name's Arjuna, and he's the school's tech IT. I don't know what the actual title, like the IT coordinator. He runs their that whole thing. And
then she's a math teacher, right? So yes. they work at, that's their day job. They work at the school, and they're advising the club as part of that. Right. Yeah. So it sounds like it started as a board game club.
Well, yes. Because the full title is Pahoa High Intermediate School Tabletop Gaming Club. Mm-hmm. So it was that, because she herself wasn't keen on Magic collectible card games and things like that, but Arjuna was. He played a lot of, I mean, mostly kitchen table stuff, but he was like the go-to Magic guy at the school.
He knew enough about the game that he could tell people how awesome it was.
Right. He would run drafts at his house and casual drafts at his house and things like that. And so they were kind of, that was where his experience was, which was perfect for when Stefan and I showed up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said you guys started in about September, and then what became of that? They started out playing board games. You weren't sure, and then where are you guys at now in terms of the kids knowing about and being excited about Magic?
Right. So we've done a number of different events, not on the regular, because we're out in this really rural area. It's hard to get everyone together. Yeah. So we more aim for like big kind of like game days, and we had our first large event in December for it was the school's Ho'olaulea, the school's winter festival. Yeah. And we had our first, we did a sealed. It was modified sealed. We gave them the starter decks, the ones that the stores have that they give out for free. Mm-hmm. And we gave them a booster pack of, at the time it was Shadows. We had a box of Shadows. And so we and yeah, so it was crack the pack, mix the cards in, and play, just to see where they're at in just how everything is. Yeah. And from there, it seemed like it took off. We ran a couple of Kaladesh block drafts, and each time we saw the kids progressing more and more, getting better and better and better and better. And even a couple of our guys out in from the store, game nights, our local LGS.
That's game nights with a K, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
They came out and they were watching. They were like, "Wow, these kids are learning fast." And just
Are
this.
Most of them in high school, or is it you get the 7th through
right
all across?
We have. I'm thinking right now. I believe, like 4 9th graders, an 11th grader, and then a couple others sprinkled in.
Okay.
At least that's the core group. And
right.
then Marsha's got like intermittent other kids that are just around throughout all the grades.
Cool. Sounds like a good group.
Yeah, definitely.
So it sounds like the structure that you're using is very similar to what has grown out over here with my project. In terms of, you and I, or somebody from the Magic community. It doesn't have to be a judge, but just somebody from the Magic community is going in and supporting these clubs that are within the school, right? It's not.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's really important that it's based at the school, because the kids are already there. That's how they're gonna get their friends to start playing, and it can become a part of their school identity that I like playing strategy games, and I like playing card games, and
right definitely.
Yeah. So that's huge. But then the running theme, I talked to Marcia last week, and I've been talking to a couple other teachers that have been advisors of clubs, and Marcia has got you to support her, and she could not speak more highly of you. She was like, I would not be able to do this without Chris. And then the other 2 guys that I've talked to, they're just at super, super small schools, and they're passionate about the game, and the school is very supportive of their after school organization club.
Nice.
But I think that the reason I'm not a full-time teacher right now is because teachers are just super overworked, and it's so hard for teachers to work a full day with at least 30 kids, if not more, if they're in secondary, and then still want to stay after school to play Magic with their kids. No matter how much you love the game, at some point it's just no, I need to go home.
Well, even between that and even I've seen teachers at my school, they're in till 6 p.m. doing just meetings for whoever kids that they have in their classes. It's insane. They have no time to do anything after that. So it's all right, I'm going home and passing out.
Or I'm going home and grading all these papers.
Right. I'm going home grading all these papers and hopefully passing out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I guess I like knowing that we kind of both came to this structure independent of each other, and that says something for the effectiveness. I'd like to think so, at least, just that teachers who might want to do something like this need a little extra support, a little extra encouragement of because talking to the local community here on Oahu, people are just so supportive of. They're like, oh, you're teaching kids how to play Magic? How can I help you? Right? The Magic community loves seeing stuff like that, and they love knowing that the game is growing. So, I think that there's a lot of other potential opportunities out there, whether it's on the mainland USA or it's wherever in the world where people play Magic, that the beginnings of a Magic club are there. It's just a matter of trying to reach out to people and being like, hey, will you help me with this, right? Because
right, absolutely.
One person trying to do it it would be so hard.
Yeah, it's you have to have someone that because of all the work involved, you definitely have to have someone on the outside that's just focused on getting the organizational stuff done, the administrative stuff done, or even in my case, I mean, like Marcia does a lot of what would be, I guess, in the judge structure, it would be like a lot of what the TO would do. Get the facility, secure products, set times and all that good stuff, and then I'll come in and with the knowledge that I have, okay, I know I have this kind of product, so we can do this event. I have War installed on my laptop, so I just bring that for we don't sanction tournament. Right. It's just for brackets and standings calculation, and we can just hit the ground and just run it. Especially because I mean, again, these kids they live rurally, and because of that, their time is incredibly valuable. So running, like getting the event in and started on time or earlier is like critical, really critical.
Oh yeah, just making sure everything runs smoothly. Like the tournaments that I've been running have either been hosted by Westside Comics and Games or The Planet, two of the LGSs out here. Right. And the fact that they take care of all that TO stuff, right? And then I've got the club advisors from the 3 different clubs. They'll help with the kids with getting the kids there, helping me talk to parents and stuff like that. Yeah. And just there's a million and one things that you need to do to have events with kids, right? Make sure that you've got all your bases covered. And it would just be a logistical nightmare with just one person. I think it would be doable, but like that person would have to be very, very dedicated.
Right. It's practically Herculean. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So I just the network, the community has got to come together. So this school, like we're recording this and here on the island, there's like 1 week left of school. This is the last week of school. Yes. School ends on Friday.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys are on the same calendar as us.
Yep. DOE.
Yeah. So like, what are your plans for next year? Like, have you set some goals for yourself?
Yes. Well, I mean, I have to bounce these ideas off of Marcia, see what, because she's kind of like the liaison between the kids and I.
Right. It's always a team effort.
Right. I mean, I'd like. So their goal that they've told me is that they want to fundraise to go to HawaiiCon, which is this convention that's on this island. It's like a sci-fi. It's not like KawaiiCon on Oahu. It's
not like anime like KawaiiCon is.
No, it's more sci-fi. So it's like Star Trek, Star Wars.
Okay, cool.
Comic books, more like that. I guess it's more like trying to think of the cons on Oahu. It's more like I guess Amazing Comic-Con.
Okay.
But with it, what their kind of selling point is that they bring in scientists from the local observatories to do scientific presentations.
That's cool.
As con panels, yeah. So like you'll do like a science con panel, and then some dude from Star Wars will be here. Like it's kind of wild.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like that appeals to the kids, like in the club that don't just play Magic, right? Like
right.
That's just a convention that a high school kid wants to go to, right? If you're
absolutely.
And you're in high school, you want to. That's an awesome project.
Yeah, so that's what, and I've been trying to get her. I've been trying to get her to charge more. She's like, oh, the kids don't have much money. I'm like, yes, but we need to find funding to get to be able to hire either buses or to pay someone to fix the school's van, because we need mobility,
right?
Especially if I'm going, because one of the goals, I guess this leads into one of the goals. I want to get the kids to the shop. We haven't gone to our LGS yet.
They've just been sponsoring from afar.
Yes, like one of them will come over with a box of goodies to our. It's like a local basketball court with a covered area.
Yeah, she said it was like a community center or something like that.
Yeah, like a rec center.
Okay.
And yeah, there's like a little concession stand and things like that. And that's where we've been having all of our events. But I'd like to get them actually in that card shop atmosphere. That,
right.
Like, get them actually, get them to play with our mainstays in Hilo. I mean, I know it's a running meme, at least from what I hear on Oahu, that Hilo Magic is cutthroat magic, and they're not wrong. It's
cutthroat.
It feels cutthroat. Yes, okay. Yes, it's. But they're all good people. It's just we play at such a high level.
Yeah, everyone's playing to win.
Right. I mean, we've had players that 0-4 here or 1-3 constantly, and like they'll move to like somewhere on the mainland and they'll just stomp. They'll just they'll 4-0 pretty much every week. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, so you guys have a good solid group.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think you know a few of them, like Tim Louie and them.
Yeah, and Akko, right?
Yeah, he's moved.
Alex?
He's gone
not
to
on the Big Island anymore?
I think he's in Las Vegas.
Whoa.
Last I heard. So
yeah. Wow, it's been years since I've seen him.
Yeah, I miss him. Haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, but like you guys used to fly down to Oahu to play on our PTQs.
Yes, back when PTQs were a thing.
Yeah, before the PPTQ system, it was worth it for you guys to fly.
Right.
And it's like a $75 plane ticket, right? Like it's
round trip now. Well, yeah, I guess back in the day it was. Nowadays it's like 150. Round trip about 150 or so. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a 20-minute plane ride or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I didn't realize that y'all's community out there was so cutthroat. But that's great. Like, are there kids in the club that know that the community exists and they're like, we want to go check it out, like we want to see what it's like, we want to play against these guys?
I've had a couple of kids show up during pre-releases. Like, I guess they would be in town with their parents and they'll remember me talking about the shop and they'll pop in. But outside of that,
so those are like the super dedicated kids, the ones that are like, the fire is lit in their eyes.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Okay, so like how many of the kids do you think enjoy the game to that extent that they are going out of their way to go to these places?
I know of 2 to 3 that are like that, and then the rest of them, they want to go, but the means are not there. Yeah. Do you guys have a good bus system out there? No, we don't have any bus. Well, that's not true. We have, I guess our Heleon is I don't even know our bus schedule. It's beyond unimpressive. It's pathetic, if anything.
Yeah, so transportation is a real issue.
Yeah, like there's no mass transit at all.
Okay.
We just got Uber like 4 to 6 weeks ago, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine in rural areas it's really hard for Uber drivers for it to be worth it for someone to be an Uber driver.
Well, it wasn't even that. There was a ton of people wanting to be drivers. It was just that Uber hadn't come to the area yet. So they were just waiting for them to green light. And so now Uber's going fairly well. My younger brother is an Uber driver, and he talks about like all the places he's driven ever since he's become a driver.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting lifestyle.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've got some kids interested in like the Magic community specifically, a bunch of kids like peripherally aware of the Magic community and who will play sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a good start. Marcia mentioned that there was like another group on the island, or like she mentioned something that was it was like really far away.
So we've got
it would have been an hour drive or something like that.
Right. So we've got 3 major LGSs on, or I guess 2 major and then one that's like a core store on the island. We've got game nights in Hilo. We have 4 pillars on the Kona side, and then we've got your turn up in the north in Honoka'a, and all three of them, because they're so far away from each other. I mean, like let's see, it's like a 2-hour drive between Hilo and Kona, and that's on a good day with good weather and nobody on the road.
Wow.
Like, it's just, to go there, it like people go to people on the Hilo side go to Kona as like a day trip or like a full-on road trip.
Yeah.
Like, so getting
it's
out,
not something that you'll drive to
right,
for a tournament.
Right. Like back in the day, back when pre-game nights days, we had this store called Toys for You, and as a way to get our store up to Advance and Advance Plus, we had bussed in people on the Kona side to our pre-releases, and
That's
like
crazy.
yeah, they would like get a bus and like drive like 20-30 people over to have a 50-man pre-release.
Well, mission accomplished, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, though.
And then we would do the same for their store out Four Pillars. We would get, 20-30 guys in shuttles, multiple cars, and just pop on over and spend the day in Kona.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
That's kind of a testament to the strength of the Magic community.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
very dedicated.
Yeah. So I guess like you've got a couple of goals for next year in terms of growing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to help my kids figure out projects. Like you guys have that one strong project for getting them to the con.
Yes.
Right. I've got a couple of kids that I think are gonna be interested in playing standard. Like my summer project.
Ooh, okay.
I've got like one of the LGSs gave me table space for 2 hours before their F&M every week, so
Oh,
I'm
nice.
gonna be like meeting up with my kids over summer and just working on whatever formats they want to work on. Probably
Right.
like they're all playing standard Pauper now,
Mm-hmm.
so probably gonna play a bunch of that. Try to still run my standard Pauper tournaments over summer,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna have my sealed draft cube box. I think I've got 4 or 5 of each common from Amonkhet, and it's all sleeved up in a box. So gonna be playing a bunch of limited with them.
Ooh,
and that's
very nice.
like super low cost limited. Like it costs
it
costs nothing. It's the sleeves literally is the most
Right.
expensive part of holding that. But gonna be doing a bunch of draft and sealed with them. And then if the kids are loving that, then I'm gonna try to have the tools ready to get them, graduate them up to real standard.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got like 5 or 6 kids that are like just super on fire about the game. Like they take these standard Pauper tournaments, like they'll prep for them for weeks. They'll practice with each other and like make time to practice with each other. So trying to get them opportunities to not only play against their peers, but to also just see what the larger community is like.
Nice.
I don't have as many restrictions as you do about transportation. Like,
yeah,
the schools that these kids are at are kind of out of the way, but it's like with no traffic, it's like a 30-minute drive to DePlanet.
Mm-hmm.
Or it takes like 10 minutes to get out to the closest LGS to them. But
and I'm sure they also have, I don't know if they use, or a good many of them use like the mass transit system out there.
Yeah.
It just seems easier.
Yeah, some of them just get their parents to drop them off. Some of them have been catching the bus.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have been coordinating rides with the club advisor. Like, he's been really, really supportive of helping to get the kids to tournaments and then interacting with them at the tournaments.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like for those kids that are super serious, like they want to play against adults, right? They say that they're intimidated by them at first, but then they're like, oh, like at the last tournament I did, we did spell slinging for just people that were at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Who weren't doing anything. I was like, here, I have this standard Pauper deck. If you play against this kid, I'll give you some packs at the end of the day. And if the kid beat them, then they got a pack.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave away maybe like 7 or 8 packs over the course of the day to the kids. So like over the course of a day, that's not that many packs that I gave away. But like those kids, like that was like a quest for them, right? They were like, oh, I gotta beat him.
Yeah.
And it was just like the most epic thing to them that they were playing against this adult, and that they could win sometimes.
Oh yeah, I was I do at each one of our events. I actually have a couple of fat pack boxes that are just full of packs that I've won that I don't open because I don't open packs. And what I've been doing now is I've been just doing gunslinging where, just bring a deck and we'll play, and if you win, you can get a pack from my box. And
nice.
Depending on like what format they have, because some of them are lucky enough to have a couple of like modern-ish cards. Some of them have standard or whatever kitchen table stuff. Depending on how high level their deck is, that then I'll go into like maybe I'll have like an original Innistrad pack for them or something older like a Plane Chase pack. Whereas if it's like more easier stuff, I'll have like a Moncat or Battle for Zen or whatever, like standard stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So like, do you talk to the kids about like, this is what these cards are worth? Here's kind of how to interact with the economy.
We haven't done a lot of MTG finance stuff. I mean, the most is
like just collection management. I think is like the most accessible way to kind of have that conversation with them.
Right. That's one that I wouldn't mind doing in the future. We haven't gotten to do that per se. We've done a lot of limited stuff, so because of that, I haven't been able to like look at collections for like constructed.
Yeah.
And because of that, I haven't been able to talk to them about like what you said, collection management, the value of how much is this? Look it up on the internet. How should you sleeve something this nice? Things like that.
Yeah.
One kid opened 2 tournaments ago. One kid opened up a like the most I've gone into this is that a kid opened up not an expedition, not an invocation, an invention.
Oh, the masterpiece.
Yeah, a masterpiece, yeah. And everyone was like, "Ooh, take a picture with it and put it in a sleeve." But like that's about as far as I've gotten with that.
Yeah, I've had a couple kids open up inventions as well, and like they want to trade them, but they like, you can't just go into a trade with someone without knowing like what you want to build towards, right? Like, because the only format these kids play is standard pauper or limited, and then it's like, no one's gonna give you as much cash as it's worth, so like it's worth more to the kid to just like have this really cool card that like means something to them because they were so excited when they opened it up.
Right.
So absolutely. Like, me giving you $25 for your super cool card, which is what a store would usually, like they have to take a huge percentage out, right?
Oh yeah.
So I always tell the kids like, don't, like if you need the cash, I'm not going to tell you not to sell it for cash, but like if you want to make the most of it, you got to figure out like what your goals are. Do you want to play Commander and like trade for Commander cards? A bunch of the kids have been getting into the Commander.
Oh, nice. That's a goal of mine too. I want to get them to try to build Commander.
So I made a video about this, but I've had a bunch of success with doing rarity limits for Commander. So they can have 3 mythics and 10 rares, and that includes their Commander. And then like the kids that are just starting out, their decks aren't, like if someone plays with a semi-real Commander deck against somebody who just built their very first Commander deck, like it's just not going to be fun.
Of course.
So the kids have been really happy with that format, and it's gotten a lot of the kids that are like, oh, I don't know if I want to start building my own decks, or to just kind of like, oh yeah, I can spend a couple dollars on, there's a Duretti deck, there's a Widwin the Biting Gale deck, right?
Yeah, one of those.
Someone bought a Karanos and has a Karanos deck, so it's like the kids will spend a little bit of money on one of the 3 marquee mythics in their deck, and then the rest of it is just commons and uncommons.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's very accessible, and it's still a really fun format. So
yeah, that's one of the that's one of the things where I wish I had more interaction days with the kids, because that would be one of those things that I would be pushing. I'm a huge Commander player myself, and the most Commander I've done was I brought my decks one day and we played it out, and they were blown away at the power levels. But I haven't been able to.
They're just like, this is such a cool deck.
Right. This is like, whoa, these cards are, whoa. And I've been wanting. That's one thing I want to do with them for sure. It's kind of cool how a lot of our guys have basically dumped cards on them. Like, I've given 2 5,000 count boxes. Other people have given stacks upon stacks of old game day playmats and commons, uncommons, things like that. Oh yeah. So we haven't gotten to the point where they've had to need to learn about trading yet.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I've definitely got in the back of my head. That's going to be a skill they're going to need to learn how to do eventually.
So how often do you see these kids? When do you see them? Because if they're an on-school club, I imagine Marcia sees them every week-ish.
She sees them every day at lunchtime, because it's all the kids that just want to hang out at lunch.
They just love it so much they want to hang out at lunch.
Right, and they'll play with their decks, or I think she said the other day that she set up a ping pong table in the back, so it's just sort of a general clubhouse kind of feel.
It's a nerd haven.
Right. I myself, I only get to go out there around once a month, assuming the schedules work out. For example, April we didn't meet because of not only Kawaii Con, but because I fly over for Kawaii Con every year, but also Amonkhet was 2 weeks after. So between those two big events, it was okay, we have no time to do anything in April, but we've managed to meet every single month. It's going to be hard for the summer months, just to see, because it's I know she's trying to finagle them to get into some sort of email list or something, just so that she can keep touch with them over the summer, because I'd like for them to maybe carpool over to game nights for Hour of Devastation's pre-release, or something cool. Like that. Yeah,
that's gonna be in June, July.
Yeah, it's mid-July.
Okay.
Yeah, it's around the 14th, 15th or so.
Yeah.
Or
even if you're just let's all just meet,
right?
Every other week or once a week, and the kids that love the game enough will go out of their way, especially if their parents know who you are.
Right.
It gets a little iffy if their parents you always want to make sure that you're talking with their parents.
Right.
But yeah, my core dedicated group of kids, I made sure that I can get in touch with them over the summer so that we can, keep playing.
Right. Yeah, that's something I need to do.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm stoked that you're doing what you're doing, and as I said before, that we kind of came to a similar structure independent of each other. That makes me happy.
Yeah. Definitely.
Cool. Well, I hope that just this video can maybe inspire other people that are either in the judge community or in the LGS community or at a school to reach out and form similar partnerships to what we're doing, because the way I see it is that it's just a win-win for everybody. The kids get an awesome place to go, an awesome thing to do, in school or after school. and then the Magic community gets to grow and be, you know, these role models for these kids, because, you know, there's some pretty awesome people in the Magic community, and I think that finding the cross section for kids to engage with the larger community is just, there's so much potential for good to happen there. So
Magic really is the game that can cross generations and really bring people together. It's like that one T-Woo video about it. You know, Magic is a game of gathering. It's a gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
Right. Go out and meet people.
Yeah. It's not about the magic. It's about the gathering, or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone said something to that effect much more eloquently than I can.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll keep in touch. Are you by chance going to Vegas for the GP?
I don't have money, so unfortunately,
okay. Yeah,
a bunch of I think a bunch of my Hilo people are going to be there. Tim for sure, John Oshiro, and a couple others. I don't know if you've met them, but yeah, they're all going out. I was kind of kicking myself because I saw a bunch. It was like a bunch of the big names were going to be there. I know, like, I wanted to meet Rudy from Alpha Investments. He's going down there, and I was like, oh crap. But I don't.
That's the YouTube channel, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
probably my favorite Magic content on YouTube.
Yeah, well, like GP Vegas is like the mecca of the Magic community, or the American Magic community, at least.
Yeah, I keep telling myself
there's a ton of people from here going.
Yeah, I keep telling myself every 2 years, okay, next time I'll do it, and then it comes around and I'm like, crap, I have no money.
Yeah, it's hard to travel to Magic tournaments when you live on an island.
Yes, and actually, that very reason kept me from moving forward and getting my L2, because at the time I was working towards it, the requirements were way too travel intensive, and I just didn't have the capital.
Yeah. They don't make it easy to become an L2, and we desperately need them here in Hawaii.
It's gotten a little better, and because of that, I've started to study more. But I'm just being lazy about it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I need to make a video about this on my channel pretty soon, but I found out very recently that I got accepted to present at the Judge Conference in Vegas.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So yeah, I wasn't gonna make the trip, but you know, that's enough of a reason for me to make the trip. So I haven't solidified any travel plans yet, but I'm planning on being there.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to being able to present. Like, I imagine there's just gonna be infinite judges there because Vegas is just such a huge event.
Oh yeah, usually, I mean, like last Vegas, they actually had to emergency call anyone and everyone on the West Coast. I don't care, drive in, we need judges. It's like that big.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was actually really scary last GP Vegas. So I can only imagine how much prep Channel Fireball and them are going to do for this one.
Yeah. Well, I hope that they've learned from last year. But it sounds like the Judge Conference is going to be large, which means that they probably have the staff covered for the events. Yeah. But I'm really excited to be presenting.
Yeah, that's huge. Record it. That's gonna be sweet. I'll look forward to that video. Sure.
Cool.
Definitely.
All right, man. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure that we'll keep in touch.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I wanna hear about what you're doing, man. Keep doing all those good things.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thanks for chatting, man.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Peace.
Well, that does it for this episode of Between Two Card Sleeves. I'd like to thank Sean Pottenger, MTG808Junior on Facebook as well as YouTube. Links to his stuff will all be in the description down below. If you've liked this particular podcast, consider liking the video, sharing it around. Also, if either of us have said something you'd like to talk about, I can name like one spot where I think I screwed up, then the comment box is down below. For those who want to continue listening to the sound of my voice, consider subscribing to the channel. Your support is beyond greatly appreciated. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you when I see you.